I've watched a lot of people get taken out because of offense. They will get so excited and have this dream and vision that God has given them, and they begin to execute it. And when people don't do what they expected or what they wanted, they get offended and they bail. And they quit on God and the assignment. And this happens in cities where different ministries and movements that are going on, the great dreams that really are of God. But what happens is people get offended and they back off. And the question is, for each one of us, is how offendable are you? If you would commit yourself to not be able to be offended, if you're dead in the flesh, how could you be offended? I don't know, if you were dead, you wouldn't be offended. So if you're dead to the flesh, you should be unoffendable. A friend of mine was lying in the hospital and he was looking up at the ceiling, and there were all those little dots in the ceiling. And what happened was he would look at a dot and immediately an offense would come to mind of a person that had offended him back in the day. And he said, I forgot about that. Oh, Father, I forgive that person for doing that. And then he looked at another little dot on the ceiling, and you know what? Another offense came to his mind. And God was using all these speckles on the ceiling to expose how many times this guy had been offended and taken offense and walked in unforgiveness. And I want you to know, if you're like that, if you have been offended, if you have unresolved issues with your family and with your friends and other people, I want you to know you're in disobedience. That Christ commands us that we're supposed to forgive. That even that our own forgiveness is tied. That Father, forgive them as they have forgiven those who sinned against them. So I want to encourage you, forgive. Unforgiveness is like drinking poison and expecting someone else to die. It just doesn't work. So I want to encourage you, be unoffendable, encourage, teach others, so that as people disappoint us, which you know what, they are going to disappoint. I promise you, they will disappoint you. They will let you down. But we are meant to be resilient because we know we are loved by God and that He will never let us down. He will never betray us. He will never fail us. So because He's good and He is one who will be faithful, we can let people off the hook when they're not faithful. It doesn't mean we don't confront, doesn't mean we don't address stuff with them. But at the end of the day, whether they repent or apologize or whatever, we have to forgive because we don't want to miss out on anything that God has for us because of offense.